a self-styled anti-social cyclist who knocked down and killed a mother of two while riding an illegal bike, has been jailed for 18 months. Charlie Alliston was traveling at 18 miles per hour on an illegal Olympic-style bike with no front brakes when he crashed into 44-year-old Kim Briggs as she crossed the road on her lunch break. Former McDonald's worker, courier and scaffolder Alliston smashed into the HR executive with his fixie bike in Old Street, London in February last year. Ms Briggs suffered catastrophic head injuries in the collision and died in hospital a week later. Following a trial at the Old Bailey, Alliston was cleared of manslaughter.But. He was found guilty of causing bodily harm by wanton and furious driving, an archaic piece of legislation from the 19th century used to prosecute horse and carriage drivers. As Ms Briggs lay dying in the road from severe head injuries, Alliston shouted at her in the street and later blamed her for the crash in a series of online posts before falsely accusing her of being too busy looking at her mobile phone. As he was sentenced to 18 months in a young offender institution today, the judge said Alliston had been shouting and swearing at pedestrians to get out his way as he sped through the streets of the capital and had sought to put blame on Mrs Briggs. Judge Wendy Joseph QC said throughout the trial Alliston showed no remorse, adding, "I have seen only self-interested fear." The judge labeled Alliston an accident waiting to happen, adding he showed a callous disregard for the safety of other road users. After medics battled to save his victim as she lay dying in the road, Alliston, then 18, wrote on a cyclist's forum, "I warned for a second time to pretty much get the F out of my way," which he didn't. He later wrote, "I refuse to accept any responsibility in this whatsoever. It's not my fault people think they are invincible or just have zero respect for cyclists." What makes it worse is that, even when people were helping her, her phone was going off continuously with texts showing she was on it at the time. If you value your mobile phone more than your life, maybe this is the type of wake-up call you need. Judge Wendy Joseph, QC, sentenced Alliston to 18 months in a young offenders institution after slamming his callous disregard for the safety of other road users. She said Alliston had been an accident waiting to happen because he was riding through London on a fixie bike with no front brake. The judge told the court today, "I am satisfied in some part it was this so-called thrill that motivated you to ride without a front brake, shouting and swearing at pedestrians to get out of the way." "I've heard your evidence and I have no doubt that even now you remain obstinately sure of yourself and your own abilities. I have no doubt you are wrong in this. You were an accident waiting to happen. The victim could have been any pedestrian. It was in fact Mrs Kim Briggs." The judge said Alliston's whole manner of driving caused the accident. "If you bicycle had a front wheel brake you could have stopped, but on this illegal bike you could not, and on your evidence, by this stage, you were not even trying to slow or stop." You expected her to get out of the way. A year before the fatal crash, Alliston openly bragged on Twitter about riding a bike with no brakes, tweeting, "The time when you first take your brakes off and feeling like you're in a Ms Briggs movie." He bought his Planet X track bike for £470 in January last year after spotting an advert on the London fixed gear and single speed LFGSS website. It was designed to be ridden on the track and was not installed with a front brake, meaning riders could only slow down by resisting the motion of the pedals. Prosecutor Duncan Penny QC told jurors at an earlier hearing, track bikes without a front brake are harder to bring to a halt than bicycles equipped with brakes. That is why you see the Olympians, Chris Hoy and Laura Trott, still whizzing around the track long after the finish. Some 5 months after the tragedy, Alliston got a ghoulish skull tattoo behind his ear, which was only revealed as jurors began their deliberations. Alliston is a fan of the controversial American stunt rider Lucas Brunel, who hit a pedestrian after cycling through a red light in Boston.